Hello everyone. Today's story is Boys and Girls, written by Alice Munro, the Canadian short story writer and a literature Nobel of 2013. She writes mainly about girls and women, ordinary lives in the rural communities east of Lake Huron, Ontario district. Here goes. Her father is a fox farmer. He traps and breeds silver foxes for their pelt. He breeds these foxes in kennels, and it is her job to keep these foxes in water. She draws water from the pump in the barnyard, fills the drum, brings it over on the wheelbarrow, and fills the water in the troughs in all the pens in the kennel. Apart from this, she rakes up the tall grass which her father cuts with his scythe. She is very proud of the help that she does to her father. But beyond this help, there is hardly much of conversation between father and daughter. Not so with her mother. Her mother is quite chatty. She's heard about the little dog that she had when her mother was a small girl. She has heard about the boys that her mother used to go out with when she grew up. She has heard about her mother's favorite dresses. At night, when her little brother Laird and she were sent up to bed upstairs, they were both frightened of the dark. Laird used to sing himself to sleep, jingle bells, any time of the year. And she used to go off into a magical world of her own, where she was rescuing her friends and her teachers from frightful situations. Her mother was busy throughout the day in the kitchen, cooking, making preserves, jams and jellies from out of fruits, pears, apples, apricots, grapes that she bought from town, and onions, cucumber, tomatoes that she grew in her backyard. She had these chores for her. But as no sooner one chore was finished, she ran away before her mother could think of the next chore. She heard her mother tell her father, "Just you wait till Laird grows up, then you'll have some real help. This girl, she runs away every time I turn my back. I don't even feel that there is a girl in the house." She didn't bother about it because she hardly thought that her father paid much attention to it. Whoever thought that Laird would be of any help even if after he grew up? Her mother was not to be trusted. It's not that she didn't love her. She did. She made clothes for her, dresses for her, for school, for going out. But she was always plotting to keep her inside, doing chores for her, although she knew that she did not like it. Because she knew that she did not like it. The foxes used to be fed horse meat. This was just after the war. Most farmers were shifting over to tractors and they were selling their horses. Her father used to buy the horses, keep them in the stables till they needed the meat. One day, he bought two, Mac and Flora. Mac was a big dray, old, indifferent, docile. But Flora was a different story altogether. She was high-spirited, always looking for trouble. She felt a kindred spirit with Flora. how she loved if she were able to go away with Flora in the wild beyond, where no one would be able to catch them. But that was all in her imagination. This was the time when the word girl started taking on new connotations in her mind. She heard things like girls keep their knees together when they sit down. Girls don't shut their door loudly. This is not a girl's business. These are not good things for a girl to hear, and so on. When she got into a fight with Laird, and Laird would pin her arm down, she was met with appreciative glances. Just you wait till Laird grows up, and he will show you a thing or two. Soon it came time for Mac to be put down. She knew when Henry, the hired hand, and her father led Mac out into the barn, into the yard. She quickly led Laird into the barn, and they ran up into the loft. They peeped through the knotholes. Henry led Mac out into the yard by his halter. He stood a bit apart. Her father raised his gun. Mac looked up when the gun was cocked. The shot rang out, and the great beast, resigned to his fate, simply slumped and died. So now you've seen how they kill a horse. She said to Laird, "Now let's go and play." They got down on shaky legs and went out to the front yard. 2 months passed. Then the time for Flora came. This time, she took Laird to the front yard, as far away from the barn as possible. Suddenly, they heard a commotion in the backyard. They ran to see and found Flora had broken loose and was galloping around the yard with her father and Henry trying to restrain her, catch her halter. Soon Flora swerved, leapt over the fence, broke free, and tried to break towards the front yard. "Go shut the gate," shouted her father to her. Laird and she ran to the front gate. Soon she was out of sight of her father and Henry. She ran to the front gate as Flora galloped up. But instead of shutting the gate, she held it open, and Flora galloped past. Her father and Henry panted up. They didn't wait. They got into the truck with the gun and knives. Little Laird also jumped in at the last moment, and they drove off. That evening, by dinner time, they returned. They washed off the blood stains and sat down to dinner. "It's her fault she got away." "That is Flora," said Laird. "She could have shut the gate, but she didn't." "Is that right?" her father said. Everybody at the table looked at her. She nodded, swallowing the food with great difficulty. Tears flooded her eyes. "What did you do that for?" her father had asked in disgust. She didn't answer, expecting to be sent away from the table. "Never mind," her father said. He spoke with resignation, even good humor, the words which absolved and dismissed her for good. "She's only a girl," he said. She didn't protest that, even in her own heart. Maybe it was true. I hope you liked the story as much as I did. Please share it with your friends. Leave a comment and subscribe to my channel if you can. It's free. Thank you so much.